literally the week before the slap when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Literally the week before, I had just finished his book. There was a couple of things that like he put in there that I was just like, bruh, what? Like, this makes sense of why everything is happening how it is, bruh. He literally, bruh, he planned a prank. This was the first day that he was introducing Jada to his mom. And he had a joke where he was like, okay, I'm going to play, she's in the movie Jason's Lyric.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the movie, but I'm going to time it perfectly into which my mom is watching it, and she's going to be watching the sex scene while Jada walks in.
What the fuck?
Bruh, yeah.
That's
and
kind of...
And it happened. It happened. Jada was like, bruh, let's go in the other room and talk. She was like, bruh, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? The mom wasn't talking trash, but she was just like, you ain't got to do all that to be an actress. You know what I'm saying? Like, she said that out loud, and then she's like, yo, what's going on?
Why would you do that?
Bruh, that's strike one.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the UnParishable podcast. It's your boy, Parish, and today I have a homie who's been doing things in and out of the Atlanta area for a very long time. I've known him for a long time. One of my favorite DJs in Atlanta, like very talented. His mixes are motherfucking top tier, but an all around talented individual. We got the homie Wizard Craig in the building.
What's good? What's happening? Parish, what's good, bro? You all right?
Hell yeah, man. You know, just chilling, working, living life, trying to get all the goals accomplished, you know.
Sounds about right.
Starting podcasts, never getting sleep, and you know, I guess that's healthy. But
well, you know, you're working. I think that's what it's all about. You know, we do gotta work. So
yeah, we gotta work.
Yeah.
We have to, but it's beyond the work. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. How like I feel like it's so weird that I've like trying to be a musician or a creative period.
Yeah.
You kind of burden yourself with the process of trying to do it because it's like, man, I could have just went to school and wanted to do a normal job, come home to my family every night and, you know, go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing again and make money. But it's kind of like now that I'm trying to be a creative, I got to go to work, come home still to because I still want to be a good dad and a good husband. So
Correct.
I'm still coming home to them.
Yeah.
Then I got to do the stuff that I want to do. So I'm editing videos, I'm recording, I'm writing music, I'm making beats, doing podcasts, all the shit that I'm trying to do on top of the rest of my life. And it's like, why did I just, no one forcing me to do this to myself.
Yeah.
But it's something I really want to do. And it's who, you know, as creatives, we really want to be. And I know even as a DJ, you probably have the same struggles throughout, you know, trying to achieve the things you want to achieve as a DJ. I know, but we were just talking. You said you started off doing photography too and being a DJ?
Yeah, so when I got to Clark, Atlanta, my first DJing gig technically was in high school, my senior year. I was the music commissioner in the student government, so I pretty much played music on Fridays at lunch. You know what I'm saying? That was like our like chill day, you know what I'm saying? And I was just playing music from my iPod, you know what I'm saying? Or my other like MP3 players, just hooking up to the sound system and just playing the music.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
wait, what high school you went to?
Colony High School in Ontario, California. Shout out to the folks back home. Shout out to the IE Inland Empire. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You have you seen Next Friday?
Yeah.
So in Next Friday, they're in the city Rancho Cucamonga. That's also in the Inland Empire. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a real place. You know what I'm saying? People will be like, oh, I didn't even know that's a real place. It's like, yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's crazy. Because I didn't even think about it until you just said Friday after next. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's where they were.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Out there with all the Hispanic folks, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my Hispanic folks, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, then that following like summer, I had got a laptop, and I downloaded Virtual DJ and was kind of like using that. Like it just had kickbacks, you know what I'm saying? Just hanging out with homies and things like that. That following semester, which would have been the spring semester of my freshman year at Clark, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to CAU, shout out to all the Panthers out there. My homie George had came back to campus with, he had 2 cameras. He had a camcorder and like a camera. The camera didn't take no picture. The camera didn't do any video. That's what the camcorder was for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, around that time, Vine was popping off. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was getting in their creative bag as far as like the
Vine.
content. Yeah. Vine, bro.
That was a time. That started, I mean, when you think about it, Vine was our TikTok. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
bring that at here, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that random 6 like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
People were so creative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was so much fun to really just cut and create that stuff. Like, it was really cool. It was a good time.
Especially in 6 seconds. Like you said, like, no one would have thought, like, oh, I'm going to just... I wonder what made them think about that. Like, let's just have a video platform of short fucking clips where people can express themselves in 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. But that did cause a lot of, like, creativity. And, like, the meme culture we have today, a lot of the things we don't even remember came from Vine.
Exactly.
And that whole era.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the folks on the Vine. Shout out to all the OGs out there while doing that.
Right.
I started using his camera because he was like, hey, we're using it. Everybody that was in my dorm. And I started taking the pictures. And this girl saw me carrying the camera one time. I was like, hey, can you take my pictures? And I was just like, sure. You know what I'm saying? I was doing her pictures. One of my OG homies, shout out Rodney Perry. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Simply Podcast. Hey. Shout out to Remedy Wednesdays, too. We do that. He was like, he saw us, and he was like, yo, you a photographer? And I was just like, I mean, I'm taking pictures. I guess. I'm just cool. He was like, bruh, it's campaign season. Everybody's going to want their pictures taken. And, saying the following weeks, I was doing everybody's campaign pictures. And then eventually I just was like, I'm a photographer. You know what I'm saying?
What was that like? So you're saying you were taking pictures for the campaigns. Like, mm-hmm. who was running, and what was it for? Was it for like the Senate or like?
Yeah. Shout out to Chelsea Glasgow. She ran for Miss CAU, and she actually won. I had did her photographs one time. That was like my later years. Like actually like the next year I was a sophomore. She was running for Miss CAU. She won. My main man Bryson. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bryson. He was running for the SGA too. I forgot exactly which position he ran for, but I took his pictures, and actually one of the pictures that we took is still his profile picture on his Instagram to this day. Mm. And I was just doing. It was just a lot of people, and then also outside of SGA, people were running for dorm positions too. So like president of the dorm, secretary of the dorm, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff too. So I was doing those pictures too. And I was just getting around campus, and it's always word of mouth when it comes to like school for real. So everybody was like, "Oh, you take them pictures? Oh, I need somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's all about puzzle piecing, like as far as like building it up. So
yeah, exactly.
That's how that happened, and it was cool.
Just one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, you're a photographer full time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically. It was cool. And then it got to the point where it started getting a little bit out of hand, just because. I looked at it like it was a hobby. Like I did it like for fun. Right. So I was just like on some things where it was like, if you coming to me, you coming for what I want. You coming for how I shoot. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it got to the point where people was coming like, I need you to do this and do that. And then if it wasn't like how they wanted it, everybody was talking trash. And it was just like, dang, bro, you making this not even fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was something I had to learn too, because it's like, if you really want to be there and have that profession, sometimes you do have to invest in it. And sometimes you do have to go harder and do the bigger things, you know what I'm saying? Buy lights, buy reflectors, you know what I'm saying? Get different lenses and do all that. Like, it was getting to the point where I was faced with that.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was just like, dang. You know
And
what I'm
you were
saying?
just like, nah, like I ain't trying to do all that. I just want to take pictures because it's fun.
Yeah.
And y'all trying to force me into this whole thing. I ain't trying to do that.
Right. Because I also what I was doing too, which was like my actual niche, was highlight tapes. So my brand is called Serious Marsh, and the mission statement behind Serious Marsh is, I want you, the audience, to see what I'm seeing and also hear what I'm hearing while I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So it was just a bunch of like highlight tapes of me just filming random things where I was at, like random fun that I was having, or just at different events and just different things that was going on around campus or even
Yeah.
back home, and just put some fire music on the back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like how like our Future videos used to be back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out Mikey Alfred, you know what I'm saying? Like that style where it was just, it's fun. It looked like a montage in your favorite movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, so that was what I was doing with that. And I still do it from time to time. I don't have a camera anymore. Like, kept running into crazy stuff out here. You know, Atlanta, bro. Always getting somebody's stuff, always getting stolen, broken
Right.
into. Like, my camera got stolen like 3 times. I had 3 cameras.
Damn.
And they each one of them got stolen. So I kind of took it as like, okay, maybe this is a sign. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to take it easy.
Your DJ equipment ever got stolen?
No.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it was a sign. Because I was gonna say I know mad people get their stuff stolen out here. It is an Atlanta thing. Like even in this neighborhood where I'm at, somebody broke into all of our cars. Like was busting out windows. But guess whose car didn't get touched?
Yours.
Mine. And now, mind you, I'm just driving a little Nissan Versa, and like maybe 2 years ago, my wife got into an accident in it. So like the bumper is like a black front bumper now.
Yeah.
Because I had to replace it I replaced it myself because I was like, I'm not paying like, because nigga only got liability insurance.
Arm
and
and a
shit.
leg, nigga.
Right. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna replace it. So me and my brother-in-law put the bumper on itself. So maybe they saw that and was like, oh, that nigga don't got nothing, and just kept it moving and went to everybody else's car. But yeah, I don't get my stuff broken into a lot, but it's happening. Like so many niggas is getting their shit stolen out here. So when people come to Atlanta and they be like, hey, you better leave your windows down or your doors unlocked, it might be better to do that, because if they bust your window open, then now you got to pay for a new window or whatever. They not lying when they say that shit. They not saying it to be funny or like, trying to make Atlanta seem like it's, more hard than what it is or whatever. Like, people is coming out here robbing.
It's definitely it's funny. I think of it as like a rite of passage. Like, as much as it's very like, it's very unfortunate that happens, but it's definitely a rite of passage because it does happen to everybody. You know what I'm saying? At least once or twice.
Yeah, it hurts when it's something like DJ equipment too, or a camera. You like, son, this is my life, dog. Like I'm investing so much into this, and you're taking something from me that's like
That's
a
feeding
part
me.
of me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
this is something that's really feeding this is what's aiding my situation. Like, this is like my purpose. You know what I'm saying? And you're kind of like grabbing it and running off with it. And it's like, bruh, how? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's not cool.
Right. So you said you got into DJing and photography at the same time, right? So in college, so what was the DJing side like? Because that's the thing that, you took off with.
Yeah. So with the DJing, so my freshman year, I joined the step team. Shout out to Pfeiffer Hall. You know what I'm saying? We the last kings. It was the last year that it was a boy dorm. Because originally when the school opened, it was a girls' dorm, and then it changed into a boy dorm in 2009. You know what I'm saying? The school year 2009, 2010. And then from 2009 all the way to 2012, 2013 school year, it was boys. And there's a step team for freshmen. The freshman step show was a thing that was part of homecoming every year. And it was always the girl team until it became the boy team. And then everybody who steps becomes coaches.
Okay.
So my freshman year, I had, I can pride myself in saying I had a hella music. You know what I'm saying? I had a pretty big, extensive like catalog. You know what I'm saying? I was finally learning to download music. I had all my
Right.
CDs back home and things like that. So I put all the music on my iTunes, and then I also had an iPod like 160 gig. So I just had hella shit, and we won the step show. But prior to that, we had a little party, like kickback, and it was like, shit, who gonna play the music? So I hooked up I hooked up to the aux, and I was just playing it. And I was kind of like good with the virtual DJ a little bit, and it was like, well, I mean, dang, we got it. We have a DJ. Like it wasn't even
Right.
like it wasn't said like, oh, we have a DJ, but it was just a well-known thing where it was like, we got cred. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing all of our kickbacks, like all of our celebration parties. You know what I'm saying? At the time when I was smoking, you know what I'm saying, we would have our sessions, and that's when I was getting my practice in. You know what I'm saying? And just vibing. You know what I'm saying? Just truly vibing all them years, you know what I'm saying? And it was just me,
Yeah.
my laptop, and the iPod as my external hard drive. So it was a thing. And then word was getting around campus that I was doing that too. So people were starting to ask me to come do their kickbacks and come do their house parties, and we started doing that. I'm in a group called Social Urban Aid and Development. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all the SUAD out there.
Hey.
That was one of the things that I brought to them when they was asking me like, oh, what do you want to, like, what can you bring to the table? And it's like, I got music. You know what I'm saying? I got the vibes, you know what I'm saying? I can do all that, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, for sure. So started doing all of those events, you get what I'm saying? And I think that, it was just a lot of fun. Like I already knew that I was like musically inclined, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, I always saw myself as like a music producer.
Yeah.
But like, I never had like the discipline to really sit there and make the beats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like DJing gave me that idea where you can kind of do all the live and making of the beats in real time. Like you get what I'm saying? Like right there on the spot. So it was a little bit more of my speed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially with the mixing, because it's kind of like, oh, I can like, like this beat sounds good with these vocals from this song, and can transition into this thing. Like that kind of takes a lot of like skill, thought, and like musical understanding,
Right.
especially with like keys and stuff. Because there's people that'll mix and don't know how to like flow one song from one key into another one. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Or pick songs that are in the same key, or maybe change a song from one key to another or something. Like it's if you have like a better musical understanding like that, like a producer almost, like you're saying, like you can kind of, you're like picking and choosing things you hear that would like mesh well together and get everybody in the party like moving
Correct.
at the same time. Like, yeah, so I could definitely see that.
Yeah, and I actually learned. It's funny you said that, like staying in key, because as far as like the evolution of my like sound, I can honestly say that it definitely came in waves. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely was phases. Like before, earlier on, like I was just playing songs. You get what I'm saying? Like, and the virtual DJ had a good fader. So the fader was
Yeah.
cool. Like it didn't like sound like too choppy. Like it made sense with the fading from the sound. Like it take one
Right.
song and it would slow it down or like lower it. And it wasn't like crazy transitioning. You know what I'm saying? That was always the thing. When I started using, like when I finally got on some control,
Turntable.
yeah, when I finally started
Okay.
using turntables, you know what I'm saying? I understood the slowing and the speeding up of
The tempo.
yeah, the tempo. Also, you know what I'm saying, pushing the vinyl up faster so it matches up, you know what I'm saying? Doing that. Then like I started understanding what a BPM was. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I was doing it for a long time before I even understood the concept of a BPM.
Yeah.
Then once I started doing BPM, I was like, oh, it's over with. I will say, I feel like it crippled me a little bit though, because like before then, during that the first phase of before that, songs would just come to my head, like just all the songs, like you know what I'm saying? It just was
Yeah.
coming to my head, and I was just like, okay, I am good, you know what I'm saying? I don't really need all that. I wasn't even thinking that I needed that until the BPM came. And it was just like, okay, all the songs are lined up. You can line them up by BPM, line them up by title name, all the other stuff. It's all lined up. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going through it. But I was like, dang, all the songs ain't coming to my head like that, like how it used to be. But then, like, once I started kind of doing it more and more, it was just like, okay, I can do that. It still does happen. And then now the phase right now, right, where because I've spent with you and other folks that are in our community as far as like, you know, rocking with the band and everything. And I started like mixing in key.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to the point where I'm like, a lot of band members out here be like, Craig, we rock with you because you be really spinning, you be keeping the key. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we as musicians, that's what we go by key. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy for the drummer to like stay on beat, but it's like it's different for like the actual musicians. You know what I'm saying? Like cause y'all playing like melodies and like the sound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's hard. I think it's really cool that that's a thing. And I'm glad that I like have that understanding. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like playing with DJs too. I think it's funny because like I don't know if people consider DJs musicians as far as like playing an instrument musician, but I do.
Yeah.
Because I think the turntables are an instrument. It's more like rhythmic, tempo based, and you know, like you may not be like playing anything in key, but you know, you're like a part, you could be a part of a band by like I said, rhythm, tempo, and keeping the pace of what like the musicians are doing. And you're doing all of that with like a MIDI, with a controller or turntables or whatever, and like we're all meshing together.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have a tool, just like my bass is a tool, or a guitar is a tool, or keys are a tool, or whatever. Like I kind of consider them musicians. And I know it's been like lost, but especially with the beginning of hip hop, like there was 4 elements of it.
Yep.
With like graffiti, which was the visual art element of it. You had the rapping, which was the lyrical element of it.
Yep.
And you had DJing,
Yep.
which was the like
The sound.
the sound element of it,
sound.
and b-boying, which was the dance
Correct.
element of it or whatever, right? But DJs were a heavy part of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, they wouldn't want to do anything without DJs. Like when Rapper's Delight came out, niggas was kind of mad because it was like you did it with a band, you didn't do it with a DJ. That's not hip hop.
Right.
Nowadays, we don't really think about it because it's just kind of like, well, just as long as you rapping good and the music sounds good, we don't care, you know. But DJing, like I've seen multiple, like Teddy Riley has a DJ with him, with his band, and I'll see other rappers or you know musicians or singers of that time period, like 80s and 90s, that will still travel with like their DJ
Right.
and a band. You know what I'm saying? And it like, first off, like, because a lot of artists and musicians play with tracks nowadays anyways.
Yeah.
So, you know, having a backing track, if you're going to have that, you could delegate that to
The DJ.
the DJ. You know what I mean? And then it makes it sound fuller, but then you have an integral part of like especially hip hop music that's still there, and they're able to use their thing as an instrument too. You know what I mean? Especially when you're scratching or doing shit too. Like,
and that's why I was going to piggyback on that, because the scratching part is a part that makes it, you know, the musicianship. You know what I'm saying? Because you up there scratching, like, you know, the scratching is like, to me, is definitely one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Because you really are creating a sound that is that like rhythmic part to it. That's kind of just like, oh, there's somebody up there. That reminds people that somebody's up there. It's not just, oh, we just playing music and just going. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to me, because I be following DJ pages and reading the comments and how some folks be like, bro, we don't really care about all that scratching. We don't be really worried about all that. So, to the point where DJs be like, bro, who cares? It's just like, I feel that, but it's fun. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it kind of makes you like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, this people always be talking like, Craig, we like that wicked stuff you be doing. Like, that stuff is cool. It's just like, yeah. Like that's the foundational part.
It
Like,
looks fun to me. Like whenever I see it, I don't know how to do it. And whenever I watch DJs do it, I be like, man, that shit looks dope. Like it looks fun. I wish I knew how to do that.
it's
Like
fire.
I feel like even even though the musical part of just like, transitioning songs or mixing is also not that easy.
Correct.
I do feel like, well, that's something I know I could possibly learn, especially as a musician, where it's just like, if I knew how to use the software, and as a producer too, it's kind of like, well, Serato or virtual DJ or whatever, it's a DAW, just like Logic or
Yeah.
FL Studio. So
Right.
if I figure out how to use that thing, I'm pretty sure I can transition songs, and I listen to a lot of different types of music, so it's kind of like I could do that part. But the mixing part, whenever I see that, I'll be like, that's crazy. I don't like, how are you even doing that? Like,
Yeah.
just like how people look at musicians, like, how are you playing the bass?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I look at DJs like that, where it's like, how are you doing that? Like, because
crazy.
it looks crazy. It looks fun and it looks dope. To me, it's an amazing element that I don't want to go away. And for the people that say, oh, we don't care about that, it's just be like, then go listen to shit on Apple Music. What are you listening to this DJ for?
Right.
Like the whole point is this human element that's taking something and making it more than what it could be.
Absolutely.
If you want, just go listen to a playlist on Spotify. But this person is taking something to the next level with, like I said, what they're playing the instrument,
Correct.
of the turntables or whatever.
Correct. And one of my favorite DJs, DJ Jazzy Jeff, he says it all the time. I watch a lot of his interviews. He's actually like one of the like main DJs I really like listen to and study for real. You know what I'm saying? I love his mind. He always says like, it's all about, it's not about the weapon of choice. The DJing is always about music selection.
Right.
The weapon of choice is like, it's an element to it too. You know what I'm saying? That's what it does, bring in the skill. But the real part of it is like, the song selection. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in that heavily. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Agree.
Like, it'd be DJs that don't even be really like, they don't really mix and scratch a lot. Like, they don't have a lot of technique per se, but like, they playing banger after banger. You know what I'm saying? And that takes a skill too, because it's like, okay, how do you know all these songs? Like, how do you know this one's gonna bang?
You've got to listen to so much music, and you got to know the crowd and know the environment and know the feel. Where it's like you walk into a place and you know from the first song you play, like, this is what's gonna get these people moving.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And the amount of music that you know. Like, there are some DJs that, like, they'll stick to one specific genre or one whatever, and, like, that's cool, too. But I think a lot of like, really good DJs, they're listening to everything, and they know what's going on and all across the board.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And it's like, this crowd will move to this, and then and then a good DJ can even prime you for, like, I don't know if necessarily they would normally listen to this, but now I'm putting them on to shit they probably wouldn't even listen to or jam to, because I've been setting you up with songs before this one, and now it smooths into, I'm gonna hit you with this Tame Impala joint, or I'm gonna hit you with this joint, and in a crowd that wouldn't normally listen to it, and they dancing to it, and they like, oh, this shit kind of slap. Who's this? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now you're putting them on the shit. You know what I mean?
See, Paris, you get it, bro. Like you speaking the real jargon, bro. Like, that's literally it. You get what I'm saying? Like, it could all be so simple, it could really be just that simple, bro. But we just dealing with a new, and I won't even say like a new day and age. I just think it's people.
Right.
People really don't know what they want. So even if you can really set them up with all that, bro, you could give them like 10 songs back to back straight that they know, and then you might give them some new joint. You know what I'm saying? You may get that one folk that come and be like, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But that's why I like doing more parties now, where it's more about like the dancing, like, you know what I'm saying? Or like if I'm doing like a cookout or something, or some big event where it's not too much pressure on what's being played.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like doing events like those, and more essentially like the ones we're dancing, because it's about the groove. It's about the movement. It's about
Right.
what's going on. It's about the element of like the fellowship. And you could play any song, old or new. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna like jump any genre of music. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the music, and that's what I love about it too, because a lot of the music is like a jumbo of like everything. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, um, they change the name of music like all the time. You get what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
R&B, but it used to be soul, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Rap, but it was primarily more hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Rock and roll. Now it's like heavy metal or alternative. You know what I'm saying? Like the names change, but the element is still there. Like the foundational element is still there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if you understand that, it's like, okay, we could rock anything. We could really do it. You know what I'm saying? People understand that.
No, for sure. And like a good like those type of environments are definitely good for playing stuff that normal like they people wouldn't normally listen to because they're just more like especially at like a festival or like you were saying like a cookout or something like
Hmm.
people are there to eat, have a good time, chill. There it's not as much focus on what's being played.
Yeah.
But then once something that is played that they probably wouldn't normally listen to, it kind of like, oh, what's that? Like you're because now they're in an environment where it's more open.
Yeah.
So they can be more open to like, and then here's the thing is, if the last two or three songs weren't the ones that you really fuck with, it's like, oh, he playing some like something old or something in a genre I don't really fuck with. You
Hmm.
know something you fuck with is gonna come back around because it's such a broad type of environment that it's like, well, my shit gonna come on eventually. And then once it comes on, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this the shit I like. You know what I mean? And then that's when they coming up to the DJ, yeah, nigga, play that shit, bro. Like, I like that shit.
It's funny, man. You said something really funny because it is like I like people like that too. Like not saying that I don't like people, but like the people that understand, like, okay, if he's in this bag right now, he gonna eventually come back around. Like he's already been doing this for this long. So it's like if he's doing that, it's like, okay, we gotta trust what's going on
Right.
because he's playing them. Like the fact that he's actually playing this random ass song I don't know about, like clearly there's something going on here. Clearly there's something I'm missing. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And maybe we'll like it after that. You know what I'm saying? There's been plenty of times I've watched like movies of a maybe of like a genre of music of movies that I don't never watch. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't like this, but just open to it one day, and I'm watching it. I'm like, this is actually kind of good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can understand why people like this. And then even too, like movies be having crazy soundtracks. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I be hearing music on there. I'll be like, this actually is a bop. This actually sounds good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that idea of discovery, you know what I'm saying, is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I like DJs for too. Especially, I also like remixes where they take a song that is popular or something that you already know, and they put a fire ass beat to it, or something, and they got the vocals and they chopping it up, doing different shit, and
Hmm.
you just like, oh, this is a cool little take on this song. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that's another dope creative skill that DJs do with the whole remixing shit as opposed to just the mixes themselves. Like I like all the elements of DJing. If I could, I would DJ. I like DJing.
Bruh,
But
if you really want to do that, bruh, I can teach you, bruh. Like, I do lessons, you know what I'm saying?
oh, for real?
Shameless plug, you know what I'm saying? I'm still coming up with a name for it. Like I want to play off of the whole like X-Men, like, you know, saying school of
Oh yeah.
like not even school mutants, but like just the full name that he got, you know what I'm saying, for the
Hmm.
X-Men. Like I'm like kind of trying to play off of that because I feel like that's the concept that I'm going for. You know what I'm saying? Having a league of, like the league of spinners for real. Like, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying? That
yeah.
really like, but it's not even that they follow my lead as far as like what I think about DJing, but they trust me to teach them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I kind of want to really like do that. And I'll teach you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's real simple.
Bet.
Like I tell people every time, like, if y'all really want to learn, y'all come to me with y'all 10 favorite songs of all genres. You know what I'm saying? If you have more, add them to the list. You know what I'm saying? But come to me with it, and I can show you how to really like turn that out and really make that like a fire like set. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like part of, and I feel like all DJs do this too, right? Because I know it's always a battle between like, oh, playing what you want or playing what the people want. And it's
Right.
like, for me in the beginning, it was just like, bruh, y'all wanted me to play. Y'all wanted me. So I'm gonna play what I like. Like I like this song. I'm gonna play this song. Like I know y'all like other thing else, but it's just like y'all not the ones DJing. Like it's me. So I'm gonna
You
play.
got me for my taste. Like why you don't think that I'm not gonna play some dope shit? So I'm gonna play the shit that I like. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's like, now if it's some stuff that I don't know that is out and I like it, I'm gonna play it. But if I don't, then it's like I probably might not. I'll probably just get it because it's the biggest song out per se. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna just have it in the tuck because that's part of the game too. It's like you gonna have to play some songs that you might not really like or you might not just be on. You gonna have to do that. That's part of
with everything. I think John Mayer, I think it was John Mayer who said this, but he had like the way that he creates songs, because it's the same thing with creating music. Like people will tell you like, I might play a song that I made that I'm experimenting with for somebody, and they'll be like, that's cool and all, but nobody gonna want to hear that. They want to hear, like what's on the radio. So you gotta make that.
Yeah.
So John Mayer's philosophy is, okay, I make one for them and one for me. So I have the ones that I really enjoy are gonna go on the album because it's my music. But I also have the ones that I know are popular sounds that people will enjoy, that's easy to digest. I'll give them those too. So it'll be like one, I don't know if it's like, if it follows this specific formula, but it's kind of like one for them, one for me. One for them.
Bruh, if he does that, then I give John Mayer some real love because that's real. I feel like that's a true balance. And like you gotta really be nice to do that. You get what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
To go against like even what like your label may be saying, like where it's like, nah, we gotta have all this. You get what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I do that, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, one for them, one for me. I think that's a good little strategy. And for DJs, I mean, you gotta at some point you're gonna have to play what the people are listening to.
Yeah.
And what they are gonna jam to. But then an important element of DJs is breaking music or introducing music.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So like, how do I ever do that if all I'm gonna do is play music that everybody knows already and everyone is listening to? Then you're not getting the music I'm breaking. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, you on point with it, bruh. You on point, bruh. Parish, bruh. Because I was just having a conversation with my homie Jalen about that other day, man. Shout out Jalen, bruh. Like, we was just talking about this. It's like, bruh, if we are playing songs that all y'all know all the time, like, how are we supposed to break the record? Every song that you know was once a new song.
Exactly.
All the songs that you know was a new song at one point in time. So it's like, how do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, make it make sense.
Right. The people don't think about that. They're only thinking about what they want. Like everyone thinks selfishly. And it's like, I'm at this party. I've been wanting to hear this song so I can jam. I want y'all to play that. You know what I'm saying? But especially when it's in a long event, it's like, nigga, the song's gonna come up.
Right.
But like, let me, do the work of a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, I found this amazing record the other day that I know other people are going to enjoy. How do I ever get this circulating if I'm only going to play the shit that everybody's listening to? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to break the record. So let me break it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Let me introduce it to y'all in, atmosphere. Let me make y'all want to have something that you say, damn, I want to download that song and listen to it tomorrow because I didn't hear it. I want to drive in my car on the way to work and be jamming to this thing, because I think that's an important element of DJs. It's like I said before, introducing you to music as well.
Correct.
Because that's their whole, that's one of their jobs, is to introduce you to music.
Cause even the way that it was the traditional like style of the DJing, right, was to play the break beats of the songs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And mixing the break beats to the other break beats, to the other songs. Like,
Right.
that was like the whole thing. So you don't even really know what you're hearing anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you're out there experiencing it, you just like, bro, this is something good ass. It's a good ass sound. Like, this whole sound is a new sound. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I think it's not even that. I wouldn't even say that we've lost that as people. You get what I'm saying? But I just feel like, the farther away we move along in time, away from the source, you know what I'm saying? Of course, like, different ideas and ideals are gonna like kind of like mix it up and be like, okay, y'all gotta do this. Because now it's to the point where it's like, oh yeah, DJ's got a host. Oh yeah, they gotta really be on the mic, like, you know what I'm saying, hosting the show. They gotta be the MC, they gotta be doing, you know what I'm saying? It's moved
Right.
to all of that, where before it was just, okay, specific lane, specific lane, specific lane. It's like now everybody wants to like have all of that in one. You get what I'm saying? To the point now, even on the business side, where it's like, okay, sometimes when I get booked, like some clients will be like, well, what else you have? And it's just like, well, what do you mean? Like, do you have lights? Do you have like a photo
Yeah.
booth? Like, do you have like drink? You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole like party package. It's like,
Yeah.
no, but I could do that. I could do that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a little bit more, but you know what I'm saying? And then that's just, it's all part of it. So it's like,
Right.
now, like, we have to kind of do more outside of the music. You get what I'm saying? Which to me, it could help, but I feel like for some DJs that I've seen that have all those extra like gimmicks, for lack of better terms, you get what I'm saying? I think it compromises their mixing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it compromises how they sound and things like that. Like, it doesn't sound, and just what I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Not saying everybody's like that, but like just from what I've seen, I feel like it does compromise their sound. You know what I'm saying? They sound too robotic. You know what I'm saying? They're not really paying attention to the like real mixing and scratching because their mind's on everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think it's because if they feel like if they give you a show in other ways, then people are just gonna dance to the music anyway? It don't really matter. If I got the lights, if I got like a crazy fucking mask on or whatever, then what I'm playing specifically or how I'm mixing doesn't really matter. I could really just do like a playlist and go one down the other, but I'm providing an environment as well, which is important. But you think that's what that is too?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. The gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? When you have like certain gimmicks, like you're not really worried about like, the quality and substance of everything, you know what I'm saying? Because everything else is taking your attention away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like with rap music, you get what I'm saying? You have certain rappers who have the extra gimmicks and things like that, which, it gives them a certain type of lane where they're like, hey, yeah, we're out here, we're doing this, you get what I'm saying? But like, they may not really be that good. You know what I'm saying? Or it may not have like the best like lyrics per se. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just truly like gimmicky. And we see a lot of that and we hear about it too all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we watch movies, we watch documentaries, we hear people's real stories where it was like, okay, the label wants you to do this or you got to do that because that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Even like right now, it's like, okay, artists have to have a online presence.
Yeah.
Where they're getting hella views and numbers on them just doing something outside of the music.
That's
or,
what
you know
I
I'm
was
saying?
about to say, because with your whole gimmick thing, as what you were alluding to with the DJs, I was gonna say that I think a lot of things shift because even for musicians, we have to have like especially if you're trying to be an artist. But I feel like anyone in this day and age who's pursuing anything creative, you gotta have this like online presence. So now, like we've been doing this podcast for 43 minutes, and that's 43 minutes I could have been recording a song, or making a beat, or working on choreography for a show, or practicing my bass or my guitar, but now I'm having to spend time on the content creation outside of music. Now, this has always been important, because people will do interviews, people will do, like magazine stuff. They'll do all different types of things because the more if you can get up people's attention in other ways, then they'll be more interested in listening to your music because
Right.
then it feels like, oh, I saw them in this thing. I feel like I know them a little better. I want to listen to what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? But I think that just environments kind of shift. So with DJs, I mean, to give them a little bit of leeway, like you kind of do have to learn how to focus on more than one thing at a time, but it should not compromise the art. But I know it's kind of difficult because there are some people where they probably feel like it compromises what they do
Yeah.
as a DJ, but they're like, what else am I supposed to do? Like I come to these people and they say, do you have the lights? Do you have this? Do you have the that? And do you have this like social media presence? And then even people on social media like want to see me with the lights and the this and the that. And it's like, so I kind of got to do it too. But there is a balance, like I believe, because I actually enjoy doing content like podcasts. So it's not really taking anything from me. It's adding to me because I'm doing something I enjoy. And I also feel like technology has gotten so good nowadays that even with the lights and stuff, if you get the right lighting package or whatever, you can sync it up to like your Serato or your Ableton or whatever.
Yeah.
And it'll do the light show for you.
Right.
And you don't really, so now you can still focus on the, actual art of the thing. But just like in anything, you're going to have people that are willing to get away with stuff so that they can gain something.
Yeah.
And the more you can get away with, then while gaining something, like of course people are going to, so they're gonna have the gimmicks,
Right.
they're gonna have the things that aren't necessary, but they know like, well, it's gonna help me get away with doing a full DJ show because people are just amused by what I got going on the stage, and I'm not really doing nothing up here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel that. I don't knock the hustle. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't knock the hustle. Like, I do agree that, you do need different facets to funnel back to what you got going on. Like, because that's even like, myself with the YouTube show, Vinyl Thursdays, shout out Series March TV.
Shout out.
You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like talking about my vinyl collection, all the different vinyls that I got. I do a little bit of modeling here and there. So that kind of like helps it funnel it back there too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And, I'll only say it's a gimmick if it feels like a gimmick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about vibes. So it's just like, even like for Pharrell, right? Pharrell makes the music. You know what I'm saying? He's a fashion icon. You know what I'm saying? Skateboards. You know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily feel like gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? It feels like that's him. You know what I'm saying? Kanye doing the fashion and the video directing and the producing. Like, it doesn't feel like gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it's him. You know what I'm saying? And even with you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, doing the content, the podcast. Like, I think podcasting is a form of art.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like you're doing you. You know what I'm saying? It's not a gimmick to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing all this just so y'all can know that I play the bass. You know what I'm saying? You just being expressive. You know what I'm saying? Because we can all do different forms of everything.
True. No, I agree. I agree. It's not a gimmick if it is you, and like, it's not a gimmick if it's not to get away from like a lack of something, or you're not like so that you can do less but get more. Where it's like, I don't really got a DJ. I can just press a couple buttons and then I got mad lasers on stage and shit. and it's all programmed into my computer and I'm making this illusion of fucking, DJing.
Right.
And I make that money and go home. You know what I mean? Or it's like, I don't really have to sing on stage, which some people do this. And as a singer, it is kind of crazy, it's like,
Lip
you
singing?
you lip syncing, or you got like, unless it's like, man, my voice is shot.
Right.
I've been doing show after show. I can't really sing that well right now. I need a little help. You know what I'm saying? Then sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fine. But it's like your job is to perform the talent that you have, and you're not performing the talent. If that's the case, then like let someone else who's got the talent do it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's not a gimmick if it is you, but there are like I'm pretty sure a lot of people that feel like I'm kind of stuck in a weird spot because it's like I just want to DJ, but now I got to do all this extra shit. And as an artist, as a musician, I feel that way too, but you know, thus is life. There's always gonna be shit we don't like to do. And unless you're willing to like fucking fuck up the system and change it somehow, then you gotta find your balance. You know
Correct.
what I mean? And how it works for you in the system. I don't gotta do it like everybody else telling me to do it, but I gotta play some part or else you get nothing. You know what I
100%.
mean? You get absolutely zero. But even speaking to back to what you were saying, you have the whole your YouTube page where you talk about vinyl and other stuff. I mean, have you ever mixed doing with vinyl, like DJ live with vinyl?
Yeah, actually, so when so the timeline, right? Like I was doing virtual DJ all the way up into the year 2016, where I got with my homeboy Wise One. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Wise One. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out.
He actually showed me how to work turntables because he had the vinyl setup, and you know, he had the vinyl collection. So what we were doing was so it's two ways you could do it, right? So Serato has a thing called Scratch Live where
Yeah.
it's pretty much it's a adapter piece. It's a Scratch Live box, like, and you take all the outputs from the mixer and plug it into the Serato box,
Yeah.
and then you know, plug your computer into the Serato box. So it's pretty much like using the laptop and the controller, but
Right.
it's the computer, the box, and then the vinyl.
Yeah.
So we was doing that, and then of course you can just go straight vinyl.
Right.
So I had did a car wash one time where I had left my computer, and I
Uh-huh.
just so happened to have a crate full of vinyls in the trunk, and went straight vinyl. And I think I did pretty smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Yeah.
homies at the time that was doing it, they was just like, you know, Craig, you know, we wanted the other thing, but you know, you did your thing. So, you know, that's cool. And I was just like, yeah, you know, I think it was a moment that I had to do that because it was just like, okay, this is really gonna make or break like who I am in this DJ world. You get what I'm saying? Am I just
Yeah.
gonna be strictly to this computer thing, or I'm gonna really be like, all right, I know how to really like mix and scratch. That's why I tell other DJs too. Like when they ask me like, what's the first step of learning? I'm like, do you want to do this as a hobby, or do you really really want to do this? Because if you really really want to do this, I suggest you start learning on vinyls, like a vinyl player.
Yeah.
Like learn how to manually mix. Learn how to like, you know, press your hand lightly on the vinyl to slow it down to get into beat matching with the other song. You get what I'm saying? Like really learn how to do all that. Because once you get on other controllers, CDJs, you know, other like controllers, all of it is like mad easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Cause you have the tactile feel of the real thing
Mm-hmm.
down. You know how to do the digital thing.
Right.
And not, so like I know I've seen people where they'll have their audio technicas and like a mixer, but the vinyl is just like it's not like they're picking a vinyl record out of the sleeve, slapping it down, but it's the like Serato, I forgot what it's called.
Control
But
vinyl.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they have those, so like it's still vinyl, but all of it's still being controlled with their computer.
Yep.
So like they'll have like the Serato mixer,
Mm-hmm.
which is a digital interface. So it's still that mixer goes into their laptop,
Yeah.
and they have the actual Audio Technica turntables or whatever turntables they use plugged into that mixer.
Yeah, that's what
And
we.
then they have the controller vinyls,
Mm-hmm.
and some people got their like own little designs on them or whatever.
Yep.
So they never are like thumbing through like fucking crates, and then okay, this one's fucking Michael Jackson, and putting that one on, and then going, okay, this is like Let's Groove Tonight, and slapping that one down and spinning. But it's like, no, the turntables or the vinyl doesn't change. It's just the controller ones.
Yeah.
So they still get that live feel of a normal turntable, but it's all still technically digital.
Yep.
You have you ever done that?
Yeah, that was so that was part of it. So that's
Okay.
pretty much what that's exactly how you explained it. That's exactly what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like we had the control vinyl, which is just a blank disc. It's a blank vinyl disc, and it just goes with the grooves of the needle that's on the vinyl. It knows how to read it to be like, okay, it goes with this song. Like I know if I mix it, it's all in there. That's what the that box,
The Serato box.
Yeah, the Serato box is for. So yeah, so once I learned that, like it started coming real easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because even if it's not like going through actual crates, digital crate digging is still the same as crate digging.
That's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when the old DJs be like, man, it ain't the same. It's like, bro, yes it is. Especially if you got hella songs. Imagine, you know what I'm saying? You going through bro, it's hella songs out there. It's hella songs. It's like 100,000 songs that get released every day.
Right.
On top of like just having like, me may have just only 100,000 songs on your laptop that you just know, now I know I need to play. You get what I'm saying? Like that's hella tracks, it's hella of like, it's hella songs. So it's like, crate digging, like the digital crate digging, it's all the same to me. Cause it's like, okay, I'm still looking through the songs. I'm still looking through the shit. You know what I'm saying? I got hella of albums that I own. So I'm going through my hard drive, going through those songs, like, and you're doing that in real time while other songs are still playing. An average song is like 3 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got 3 minutes to find another song. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you pretty much gotta have that song ready as you're playing the next song. Mm-hmm. So even in second 30, you're like, okay, what's the next song?
Correct.
You're not waiting to the end of the 3 minutes to pick that next song, or else you're gonna be stuck.
Yep.
But it's the same to me, because I'm pretty sure like a good DJ has all their stuff organized in their folders and shit, so you can look through stuff. And I'm sure that DJs back in the day had their crates organized properly, so that they're not just like, oh shit, where's that Aretha Franklin song? And they like looking through all their fucking crates to get to the no, they kind of like, okay, this is like my R&B slot, this is my disco slot right here, this is my funk freaking crate right here. And okay, if I got the James Brown one in from the funk crate and I want to play Aretha next, I'm going to my fucking R&B crate and I'm putting that one on. Like, they was organized, and I'm sure your folders are organized, and it's the same thing. You got to scroll through, find the one, cue it up, get it ready, like you said, match the tempo or the key, whatever your idea of it is, you still doing the same shit. It's just on a computer. So I'm not breaking my fucking back carrying, 500 records with me all day. That's the only difference.
And then even taking the next step too, like with the older DJs, they used to have to like take crayons and like sticky notes and cue the part on the record that they know they needed to start at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially for scratching, because before hip hop, like it was more so like fading one song to the next.
Yeah.
In like disco clubs or whatever with the DJs. But when hip hop came around and you're like you were saying, playing break beats, now it's like, I gotta know where this record starts. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking, like you said, a crayon, something to mark, this is the starting part of that record, so that I can like play the break beat here, rewind it back to the start there, play the break beat there, rewind it back to there, and now it's that one, loop, so that the DJs could break dance or whatever. But yeah, like that takes work.
Yeah.
But now you can do that with the fucking, that is a little bit easier, I do think, on digital though.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
You don't gotta do all that shit.
You got the cue buttons. You know what I'm saying? Most controllers, most mixers have 8. They have 8 buttons, 8 pads on each side. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, a song can have about 8 like cue points.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it definitely does help. Especially, I be looking at a lot of like DJs. Like shout out DJ Artistic. You know what I'm saying? He's a DJ I follow from LA. A lot of his content videos, like he mixes songs and he'll go right to the part of the song that, like, of course we all know, and then can hurry up and mix it right into another part of another song, and it's like real quick. It's real like efficient. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the great things that if we all in the DJ community, everybody, if we can all get that point right, like we'll be good. You get what I'm saying? Like just understand that, like, the technology is kind of here to make it a little easier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing like, it ain't nothing against it. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just about like getting to the point where it's easier on the sound. But still be true to the technique.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Still be true to the skill,
Because it's still a skill, even with all the technology. And now now you have a better tool. You know what I mean? Like a sharper knife or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like no one would blame a fucking swordsman for having a sharper knife and knowing how to use that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
It's like you just making it harder on yourself having a dull blade. So it makes it's just the tools are a little bit better now, more efficient. But yeah, it doesn't take away from the art of it, because you still got to know how to use it and then use it efficiently, and then even use it. Cause the best thing is when people use stuff it ain't even supposed to be used for, and then that's when you have the groundbreaking, techniques or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. I can't find the word that I'm trying to say, but
you on point with it. You definitely on point, bro.
So you say you have your vinyl, it was Vinyl Tuesdays?
Vinyl Thursday.
Thursdays, my bad. I knew it was one of the T ones. But Vinyl Thursdays. Mm-hmm. So what do you do on that? That's on your YouTube page, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do there?
So what I do is, I pick out a vinyl. I talk about my experiences with the vinyl, where I bought it from.
Yeah.
In case like the vinyl has like a different color or a different type of like pressing, you know what I'm saying? Talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
I talk about like my favorite songs on the vinyl. I talk about memorable moments that I had with the music or with the artist, and just give random various facts, you know what I'm saying? So like on the last episode I put out, it's about the Rugrats movie soundtrack. It's an orange vinyl. It's a see-through vinyl too. I talk about like, my experiences with the Rugrats show. It was one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon. Talk about I do a lot of clippings from different music videos and other like behind the scenes like videos and things like that, like just different things, and just put them in there, and I talk about it like on some I call it Fab Five Freddy, but really just any like, person with a voice who likes to like, be a journalist and really be a culture keeper and talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I do on there. The next one coming up is on Like Mike's soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
The first one I did was on Man on the Moon, Kid Cudi. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite artist. And then
that's crazy, because though them albums, Man on the Moon and Man on the Moon 2, definitely got me through high school.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, yeah. I'm 32 for sure.
Okay, so so we was there.
Yeah, correct.
We were there as it was happening.
Exactly, 100%, 100%. Like Kid Cudi is like, he's the guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he blends, and I even said this in the show. Like I feel like Kid Cudi, he was able to like captivate the sound of the black man in that time period where we weren't necessarily, it was beyond that, because what was always shown in the media, right? It was like, we see somebody black, it was either like they were like extra political, or they were like, gangster rap. You get what I'm saying? Like a gangster per se. And it was like Kid Cudi's sound kind of brought this more like skateboarding, like alternative, like look, you know what I'm saying? And that sound was captivated, and I feel like that was all of us in our age group. You get what I'm saying? All of us
Yeah.
90s kids, where it's like, you know, we wasn't necessarily, we was really pop culture for real. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We was
exactly.
into all of it. Like, it wasn't about, black and white. Like, we was in all of it. Like, we knew all the movie soundtracks to all the cartoons. You know what I'm saying? We was into all the different things that weren't necessarily black, but we were very, very knowledgeable about black things too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I think Kid Cudi was like one of the like main folks who was really like pushing that sound. You get what I'm saying? Like, and even when you hear him talk about it during them times, like he has a documentary, a man named Scott. And he was talking about it. He was just like, yeah, you know, I was working with Kanye, I was doing all that stuff, but I had to make sure, like on my album, it was me. Like, I had to make sure that it was like, y'all knew that it was me for real. You know what I'm saying? And I think that like, that was like it was very important for that because, you know, we were all like that, you know what I'm saying? Like you can call it like nerdy, but like I don't even like think like the word nerd was appropriate. I think like nerd, I feel like with the true meaning, it's just a student of pop culture. I feel like that's the true term. That is what a nerd is. You get what I'm saying?
I think he definitely spoke to something that like I wouldn't necessarily call it nerd either, but maybe it's more of like the people that didn't fit necessarily, like you didn't all the way know where you fit in, like where you belong, because you have one group over here doing like a traditional form of like I would say blackness or hip hop or whatever, and then you got like other things that are attributed to like white people or other groups.
Right.
And you kind of like, I know for me, it's like I kind of related to all of them. You know what I mean? Like every single form of it, but I didn't necessarily fit into one of them.
Right.
So like Kid Cudi kind of fit in that slot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I think related to those people like us, where it's like I mean, I guess you would call me a nerd, but if you think I was a nerd that was just like getting all A's, I definitely didn't get all A's.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But was I in the pop culture? Yeah, like I was always into X-Men or always into like you said, we played all the video, like anime is popular now.
Yeah.
We grew up in a time where it was corny, you know what I'm saying? But we watched anime and we paved the way for all the motherfuckers now that love, you know, Marvel and love superhero, you know, genre shit, and love video games and love anime and love all that. Like we were like,
we was on it.
Yeah, we was on that when it wasn't supposed to be popular.
Correct.
And then now it's the shit. You know what I'm saying? But even with Kid Cudi's sound or music, it's like I always felt like, because we consider him a rapper and he does rap, but I always felt like it was something so outside of rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he spoke to those people and like talking about being a loner and being like that type of person. It was like, that's what I could relate to. It's like I wasn't smoking heavy. I didn't do drugs. Like none of that shit I really related to. I know some people related to him on the stoner type of thing, but that wasn't me.
Right.
So, but it was more so like, I kind of get the feeling you're invoking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's different from every other sound I'm hearing in this time period. And
Correct.
I really fuck with it.
Yeah.
Heavy, you know what I mean? Man on the Moon and Man on the Moon 2, like I would, especially, like I think I was in 10th or 11th grade when Man on the Moon 2 came out.
Yeah.
So like I would purposefully miss the bus so that I can walk to school. And it wasn't that far of a walk. It was maybe like 15, 25-minute walk.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but just so I could listen to that or listen to any of my music really, but especially that album was one of the ones in rotation. I would just
that's deep.
Put them in and walk to school and just like start off my day like that. Like in high school.
That's hard.
So yeah, I can definitely relate to that. How many vinyls you got?
I ain't gonna cap, bro. I told you earlier, but I feel funny saying it, but like I really don't. You know what I'm saying? But I think I got like at least 300.
Yeah.
At least 300 vinyls. I started picking them up years ago. Christmas of 2017. Christmas 2017, my father actually gave me his vinyl collection.
Damn.
All the vinyls that he had left, because he was selling them we had a yard sale a long, long time ago before we moved into the house that is our Craig domicile now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Fontana, California. And all the vinyls that he had left, he gave them to me.
That's dope.
I just straight up, I was like, what you doing with them vinyls? He was just like, do you want them? And I said, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I took them back, came back with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy because like hearing those vinyls, it kind of like gives me another element to understanding my pops. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's true.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say we had a crazy relationship growing up, but I can just say that, he was my dad. You know what I'm saying? So, there's days and times where it wasn't like my favorite, but, he was always there for me. You know what I'm saying? He was a great figure, male figure in my life. And, I get a lot of like my ways and the ways that I see life and the way I handle situations, it does come from him.
Yeah.
So, like having his soundtrack, you know what I'm saying, and going through it and hearing it, it gave me a greater, better appreciation for him. You know what I'm saying? Because, when Fresh Prince came out with that song, Parents Don't Understand, like there was a time where I really, truly did feel that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even that they don't understand. It's just a different time period. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they just may not understand the time period that's coming after them, but they know the principles and how to go through life because they're able to tell the tale. They survive. You know what I'm saying? And my grandfather, his father, he just passed away back in December. And I inherited some of his vinyl collection. And going through that vinyl collection, I'm just like hearing it and I'm just like, bruh, like I can see where, this influence and this element of music is coming in. I can see why I kind of was really gravitated toward it because it's a real energy, soul within that music. You know what I'm saying?
What era of music did your grandfather have? Like 50s?
Yeah.
Type?
40s, 50s, 60s. He had a lot of jazz, like a lot of jazz, like random jazz too, like random groups from because he was when he was in the Army, he was stationed up in Monterey Bay, up north in California.
Okay, yeah.
So there was a bunch of like random like Bay Area groups. You know what I'm saying? He's from the South originally, South Carolina. So like a lot of those like groups. I have a great aunt who's actually one of his nieces. She is the lead singer of the group The Chiffons. They were a group that was going on in the 60s, 70s, and a lot of those albums were in there too. And so it was just a crazy sound because most of that music is just all instruments. You get what I'm saying? But like a lot of the soul records too. Like he had a lot of Dino Washington. A lot of Fats Waller. I don't think he don't sing. Fats Waller, I don't think he sings. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But I saw a lot of Fats Waller in there. It's a lot of that. But definitely a lot of Dino Washington. And just like, singers like that. Etta James was in there. It was just, it was a different time period,
That's cool as hell though. Because I like venturing off into those like older styles of music, especially because like I think like listening to vinyl, you can kind of hear the mixing techniques. Like because when people were first recording music, they was like sticking a microphone in a room, and then they'll be like the way they would mix is like, okay, horns are louder than everything. So y'all niggas go to the back over there. Drums are also louder than everything. So y'all niggas go to the back over there.
Right.
The bass, the upright bass, because there was no bass guitar back then, y'all not gonna be heard. So come up to the front. You know, this piano player can be somewhere in the middle. Singers gotta be in the front.
Yeah.
You know, like, so they were kind of mixing by moving niggas around. And they're sticking a microphone, hitting record, and it would just be 2-track.
That's
you
crazy.
know what I'm saying? Like, or mono really at first. Then they had 2-track. Then you can hear like when they got 4 tracks. Then you can hear when they could do more than that. Like by the time you get to someone like Ray Charles, who's able to record his own vocals for, you know, like, I believe.
Right.
Yes, I believe.
One of the craziest scenes in that movie, no cap.
Yeah, for real.
Definitely one of the craziest scenes in that movie, for sure.
And you see Jamie Foxx's fucking talent with his singing ability and acting ability. But yeah, so like you get to kind of hear throughout time, like when like they started figuring shit out mixing wise. And when audio technology kind of starts getting better and better, and you're like, oh shit, like that kick drum sounds fucking ridiculous.
Right.
And on this like 70s track. So you can tell they're kind of like understanding how this space works. And then if you just go back a couple more years and like 65 or some shit, it don't sound like that. You know what I mean? Like you just like listening to those old records is mad cool to me. Like, cause I'm listening to a lot of different things on top of the music.
Correct.
You know, cause I'm just like, man, they got the guitars or they got all the drums panned straight to the right, you know, in this record. Like that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I never would have thought they would do something like that. Cause in our day and age, it's just you put the kick and the snare right down the middle, and you might give the hi-hat over a little bit, and then you might do the toms around a little bit, but you're not panning the entire drum set to the right side of your ears.
Right.
Or like all the singers are on this side. You know, it's just seeing how they worked with what they worked with in their time period.
That's
It's
slick
kind of crazy.
That's slick arrangement right there.
Yeah.
Like what it's funny you said that because when they used to record at Motown,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, they would have take like different like noises and like different like creaks of like staircases and things like that, and like have that sound be in there too, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
helping out with the percussion and stuff like that. I think it's jingling keys and things like that. Like it's slick arrangement for real.
Yeah. It is.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your rarest? Do you have any like rare vinyls, like something that was kind of expensive or you know is not really around like that?
Actually, let me think. Well, this one was rare. I have a Fat Boys record that actually came from I call it my grandfather's collection because it was all in my grandfather's house. But like going through the vinyls, I can definitely tell like some of these songs like it was probably like my aunts or my dad's or something like that. That's just kind of like they, but I put it there. But it's a Fat Boys record, and one of the songs I forgot the name of the song, but one of the songs that's on that record was in the movie Crush Groove. Which is one of my favorite movies too. I got that soundtrack vinyl too, Crush Groove, and the DVD. But the Human Beatbox, he signed the record. Buffy.
Word?
He signed. His name is right on the front, and I was like, y'all do know he signed this, right? Like, and it's just sitting in here, and everybody was just like, yeah. I was just like,
that's wild. Yeah, so that definitely is that's pretty rare.
bruh, I'm like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you know the internet. Internet is my favorite band. Shout out Patrick Page, you know what I'm saying? I met him last year. He randomly, funny story. Okay, so I DJ at JR Crickets, the one in Smyrna. Shout out to my folks up there, you know what I'm saying, South Cobb.
Gotta get that lemon pebble wet.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Sanchez Way, man, that's like the craziest wing. But man, listen, I come in there to set up, right? and he's sitting at a table that's in the area of where I usually set up. So I come in there with my stuff, and I didn't notice him at first until he started talking. He was like, "Hey, do you need me to move?" And I was just like, "Nah, you good," because he was sitting in a space where it wasn't totally in the way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in the area, but it wasn't like, all right, get out the way type. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Nah, you good." So I'm walking back to the car to get my other stuff, and I'm like, "Hey, that nigga low key look like Patrick Page for real." So when I go back in there, I was like, "Hey, bro." He was like, "What's up?" I was like, "Hey, bro, did anybody ever tell you like Patrick Page?" He was like, "Bruh, that's me." I was like, "Hey."
Like, you're talking to the man.
He was like, "Bro, that's me." I was like, "Oh, what's up? What's going on?" Blah, blah. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to, like, totally, like, go crazy because, you know, we in Atlanta. It's Black Hollywood. And sometimes we may know somebody that other folks don't. And it's a lot of that where, like, we in the spot and we looking at somebody that we know and we like, man. And it's like, we looking around like, y'all don't know who this is? Like, we in the presence of a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? So we get to talking because he's there. And we chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? Being cool. And I was like, bruh, I saw y'all hella times. Like, y'all really my favorite band. Like, and I'm not just saying that shit. Like, y'all really my favorite band for real. He was just like, I appreciate that, bruh. And I was just like, yeah, bruh, I got y'all vinyls. I was like, bruh, I actually have your album. Because he has 2 albums. That is Irrelevance and I'm forgetting the second one right now. It's not coming to mind. But his second album that he came out with, when he's sitting back in the airport with his hands behind his head. I have that one. I have the Ego Death album, The Internet, and I have Apollo 21, Steve Lacy. And I was telling him about all the vinyls and stuff. He was just like, "Hey, bro, I'll sign it for you." You know what I'm saying? Like, you just let me know. So I hit him up a couple days later, and he ended up coming. He came to JR Crickets because I had ended up picking up another shift over there. He came and he signed it. And you know what I'm saying? And you know, he's real cool because he be out here. So you know what I'm saying? I be seeing him at parties and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We be chopping, we real cool. Like, so like that's like I could say that's one of my like real like rare vinyls too. You get what I'm saying? Because he be snapping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the main bassist, but he raps. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he be rapping, he be snapping too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he has a lot of like LA flows and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And he has like he has an intricate sound. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? It's very intricate and it's different. You know?
That's dope. I love when I find like when you run into people that you really enjoy and they turn out to be a joy. I love that. Like, cause I'm the same way where it's like if I see someone that I know, I don't want to go like crazy. I mean, I've always had this thing in me ever since I was like even a teenager, cause I've met like famous people or artists before, and I would always be like, you know, when I see people going crazy for them, I'll be like, these are just people, first of all, so let's relax. You know what I'm saying? We see people every day, and especially if I see them out and about, be like, they trying to do shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really trying to like, you know, interrupt niggas' day, because that could also make it a bad experience for you. For me, meeting them, you know what I mean? Yeah. Be like, they were rude to me. It's like, no, the nigga was trying to buy socks for his daughter, and you would, you know, bother him. Like, leave that man alone, you know? But, you know, when they actually turn out to be dope people, because more often than not, you can be disappointed in meeting, you know, these people. Because, like, that's why there's a saying, never meet your heroes, because more often than not, you're going to, you know, have a bad experience or something that would change your perspective on who that person is altogether. But I don't think I ever get that anymore, or I don't think I've ever had it ever, because I've always seen them as people. And it's like, well, I don't know what day I caught them on. Like, maybe if I met them in a different environment, it would be different, or whatever the case. But when you like meet them and that shit click, that always feels the best. Like you just be like, man, like you are who I thought you were, and like that's a dope thing, you know.
Yeah.
So this shit ain't a facade, or this is not just like, you know, you really are this person,
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's always very refreshing because niggas don't really be who they say they are all the time.
That's correct.
And more often than not, you know, it don't be like no one time thing. Like a lot of niggas ain't who they say they are.
That's real. Because I remember at the A3C, the first A3C that I went to, 2013, we was at an event, and August Alsina was performing, and the sound was messing up, and he like went straight asshole mode, like talking shit on the mic. And then later on, the people that I was interning with, they was like trying to go up to him and like interview him, and this nigga was really literally sitting in the front seat of his car pouting. And his security outside the car talking to my folks was like, he not doing no show. He not talking to the press, nothing. And I don't know. From that day on, I was just like, bruh, I don't know what it is, but I just did not like that. I was just like, that nigga might really be a true asshole for real. You know what I'm saying? And I give it grace if he, you know, I see it if you're a professional, you know, you're trying to do your thing and, you know, things are messing up. It may not be the most professional thing. I understand that. I do. You know what I'm saying? And if I ever run into him and it comes up, you know what I'm saying? I let him know, like, hey, bro, you know, you know, you kind of, it was a crazy thing, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, maybe he was ready to run off to Jada,
bruh,
you know, and
trying to get
like,
entangled up,
all
bruh.
right.
Bruh, listen, that's probably one of the most craziest things that we've ever had to experience in life. You get what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's kind of like this whole like metaverse, multiverse thing where we got all these different people from all these different like realms like interacting, you know what I'm saying? And like that was probably one of like the biggest like things like of all time that's ever happened.
It was crazy because we are publicly getting to see how a relationship, the inner workings of a relationship that we just never knew about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A relationship that we all assumed was so fucking good that even J. Cole put it in his rap. You
Yep.
know, I want that Jada and that Will love. You
Correct.
know, like, and I mean, most people now are like, no, thank you.
Like, I don't know if I want all that now. I mean, you
right.
know,
I don't know. You might have to keep that Jada and that Will love. But
keep that over there.
At the same time, the craziest thing, like once stuff starts settling, like, you know, after the chaos of everything, and I sit down and think about it, it gets to me because we look at it and go, a lot of people blame Jada for like, you know, man, like, why did she say this? Or why is she doing that? Or why are they putting their business out there? Which I think there's a lot of that too, where I'd be like, damn, just like kind of sit back and chill with, like, you're talking too much. Like, I know if I was her husband, if I was her husband, I'd be like, but did you have to say that?
Correct.
Did you know, but at the same time, like, it's clear to see that even in, well, I'm not going to say it's clear to see. I'll just say it seems like she also has been unhappy.
Yeah.
So we can't blame problems in their relationship on Jada just because she's talking.
Right.
We don't know what Will has done. We don't know even with all they've said, we still don't know the whole dynamic of everything. All we know is that it's come out that Jada was having an entanglement and like all the stuff that ensued afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But it takes two people to make that fucking relationship what it is. So it's not a one-sided thing. I think a lot of people just get used to throwing blame on, you know, the loudest person.
Yeah.
Which in this case is Jada, and it doesn't help. She's a black woman, so then of course people are gonna run with that shit. But you know, we don't know the whole inner working. She do just need to stop.
It's funny you say that, but it's funny you say that though, because literally the week before the slap, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock,
Yeah.
literally the week before, I had just finished his book. You know, he came out with his memoir.
Yeah.
And good book, by the way. Great read. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith was definitely one of the people who got me into the vibe of like the old school music and stuff. I started listening to like old school hip hop, the 8th grade, going to 9th grade.
Right.
He wrote this book, you know, when he met Jada and everything like that, the whole life story. So it was a couple of things that like he put in there that I was just like, bruh, what? Like, this makes sense of why everything is happening how it is, bruh. He literally, bruh, he planned a prank. This was the first day that he was introducing Jada to his mom. And he knew that it took Jada like 40 minutes to get from where she is to get to his house. And his mom came. So he had a joke where he was like, okay, I'm going to play... she's in the movie Jason's Lyric.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the movie, but I'm going to time it perfectly into which my mom is watching it, and she's going to be watching the sex scene while Jada walks in.
What the fuck?
Bruh, yeah.
That's
and
kind of...
And it happened. It happened. And Jada was like, bruh, let's go in the other room and talk. She was like, bruh, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? The mom wasn't talking trash, but she was just like, you ain't got to do all that to be an actress. You know what I'm saying? Like, she said that out loud. And then she's like, yo, what's going on?
Why would you do that?
Bruh, that's strike one.
Yeah.
The second time, okay, so this was like the situation that got them into the situation where it's like, okay, we taking a break. Like, this is a little bit older in life. You know what I'm saying? So, Will was throwing Jada a big party for her birthday. I forget what age she was turning. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to age her out like that, but it was like later on in the book. But this was like the situation that got them to the point where they're like, all right, we gotta like either take a break and figure something out, or I don't know. So him, Jaden, and her brother, they did some research and looked up the family that owned her family during slavery.
No.
Nigga. Nigga. They didn't even let them know that they was coming to the house. They came with a camera crew and everything, pulled up to the crib, knocked on the door, and was like, hey, yo, so, you know, of course you know who we are, but your family owned their family, because, you know, her brother's there, owned their family during slavery. And they got them on camera. They was like, bruh, this nigga Will Smith shows this video at the party.
What the fuck?
Bruh. Jada Pinkett Smith was pissed. She was like, bruh, they finally like got together like afterwards later on. Was just like, hey, bruh. She was like, hey, I don't know, bruh.
Like, hey guys, so the reason why you're kind of light-skinned with that eye color is because maybe possibly a couple hundred years ago, my great-great-great-great-grandfather raped your ancestor, and now you've got what you got. Sorry about that, but hey, fucking happy birthday, everybody. Will Smith, love your music, buddy.
Bruh, she was pissed. She was like, bruh, this is the worst expression of ego I've ever seen. Like, what is that all about? You know what I'm saying? And Will Smith felt crazy. Like, he was just like, bruh, he was like, bruh, in hindsight, I understand. But in the moment, I felt like, bruh, I just threw you a big ass party, got Mary J. Blige singing for you, and you gonna say I'm ungrateful, blah, blah, blah. You are ungrateful. He was like, yo, we need to take a break. So they took their
Yeah?
Yeah.
He was the one who said?
Yeah, because he was just like, you're not happy, like, then what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's the one thing I will say, though, as I do think if Jada wants to, I'm good.
Okay.
If Jada wants to exit, she should exit, you know, and I don't know, maybe she feels like, you know, she would rather hold everything together for the family, but I don't really know what's going on in their mind, what their intentions are, but it does kind of seem like after unhappy situation after unhappy situation that you don't want to be there, but you stay for some odd reason. I don't know if you think it's altruistic or like it's better or whatever. I don't know, but I will say on that end, it's like if you are that unhappy, like let's stop going online and fucking telling everybody about it and just, move on if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But if not, either way, I mean, because also either way, that's some weird shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
bro, you crazy. Like, that shit
that's
crazy.
some weird
what are you
shit.
doing? Like, what you doing? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Like,
2 times, you know what I'm saying?
I know I would slap the shit out of you.
Bro.
Like, what the fuck did you go and do? Why'd you have to do it on my birthday? Like, why couldn't this wait? And who even asked you to do this? I didn't want to know who owned me or owned my ancestors. Like, why? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Niggas be on some weird shit.
Exactly. So it's like, I feel like you right when it's like, we don't really know the inner workings, but it's just like, sometimes like when certain details like come out about things, you just be kind of just like, well, honestly, like, I mean, hey, there's a plausible cause here. I mean, that happens. So it's like, who, you know what I'm saying? Certain things when they're done, it's just like, there's no escaping that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like with the whole thing with Kendrick and Drake and everything, right? Like when they was like, oh, he likes kids. It's just like, well, even if he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? There's still things that we've seen in the public that's just like,
well,
I don't know. It kind of feeds it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is it certified pedophile and not certified lover boy? I don't know.
You get what I'm saying?
We've seen you in these images and yada yada yada. I agree. I also think Drake did start the shit not the whole beef because Kendrick started the whole beef, but as far as like, Drake or Kendrick did a little diss on like that. That was just kind of like, I'm number one. There's no big three. You could have just left it at like proving how you're number one, but then he went to talk about how like his wife is getting beat up by him and, like his kid ain't his and stuff. So then Kendrick was like, okay, you a pedophile then, nigga.
Right.
So it's like, because like you said, because then people can believe the same about Kendrick, where it's like, oh, are you a wife beater?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Are you a shirt that we wear underneath our clothes? You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
And it's like, no, I'm not that. And my kids are mine. But now he has to defend that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but guess what? Drake's a pedophile. And it's like...
Nigga likes kids, man. That video of him at that concert is so crazy to me. Like, even though that lady came out, I was just like, I was with my dad. I was like, bro, it's still kind of crazy, bro. You as young, you're 17. You know what I'm saying?
And what's crazy is you don't kiss and then ask, and then find out. You gotta ask first. Hey, how old are you? I'm bringing you up on stage. I don't know who you are at all. How old are you? You got to start with that. Exactly. You don't kiss and then they'd be like, I'm 17. And you're like, oh, my bad.
He talking about, so why you look like that? Like, what? What you mean? And he's funny as hell for that. Talking about, so why you look like that?
It's like, nigga, let's not act like you weren't in high school and you didn't see some people that looked like her at 17. You got to ask questions.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be responsible. I know a lot of people say that being an artist or being a musician is like a young person's game, but I only feel that way because they know they can take advantage of young people.
Yeah.
Because you got to be responsible as an artist because you are your own business.
Correct.
Everything hinges on you. And young people don't understand certain things. I mean, me at that age, at whatever age he was, I'm sure he was in his 20s at that point, would still have the understanding and due diligence to go, how old are you before I do anything? But a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And it's not until they get older that they start realizing shit. You know what I mean? And I feel like you got a big responsibility as an artist or a public figure to like really pay attention to the shit you do.
Correct.
It's not fair, but you definitely gotta vet certain things. But it's like kissing a random fucking girl on stage, you gotta know what the
That's
fuck you
nuts.
doing. You can't just do it and then be like, how old are you? You gotta ask first.
Correct.
You know, like, or else you get pedophile allegations 10 years later or however long it is. Like, it's
Right.
crazy.
And it's and even with that, right? Like I know you know, I'll be looking online. You know, comments do add a little bit of commentary and do add to what the general consensus is of what's going on. And you know, I saw a lot of people like saying, "Oh well, you know, the age of consent in Toronto is different from the age of consent." You know what I'm saying here, and whether that's true or not, I think that there is still a way of looking at it because me personally, I don't want to I don't want to mess with a little girl. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what
A
I'm
little
saying.
girl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get it, right? Like, there's a lot of people that are married now or whatever, and there's a big like age gap and things like that. And I understand it, and for what works for you. But I think that like there's still a great deal of hesitation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like you're younger. You know what I'm saying? You are very younger. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to, at least personally me, like I want to be able to like, mesh with somebody who I could like relate to as far as just like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I definitely want a person who has a certain mind frame too, who's able to think a certain way that someone without experience won't be able to think because they're too young. Age gaps only don't matter the older you get. So like if I'm 35 and I marry a 47-year-old, like who gives a fuck? You know, we're both at a kind of a certain point in stage where it's like you've had to have learned something at that point. You
Correct.
know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. But the younger it is, like a 17-year-old and you're 24, it's kind of like that's too much because there's too much of a power dynamic that you can take advantage of
Correct.
that this 17-year-old don't get. You know what I mean?
correct.
And yeah, like, and I don't care if the age of consent is younger in Toronto. Niggas, like, if that was his little sister, I'm pretty sure he would
He'd be
still
like,
be
yo, what's going
mad.
on?
You know
Like,
what I
hey,
mean?
what's
Like,
happening, man? What's going on?
right. Like,
Why you not talking to somebody that's your own age?
right. We would still understand. He would still understands because that's why he said, "Oh, why do you look like that?" Then he didn't say, "Oh no, it's all good. I could kiss you." You
Right.
know what I'm saying? He knew that it doesn't matter. She's 17. She's still too young.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy, man. But you're right. As far as once you put allegations on somebody, it is kind of hard to like not see, like, even if something gets proven, like, I mean, I guess this was never proven, but I guess in court, like for instance, OJ, you know, he never got charged for the murders. So technically he's proven innocent.
Correct.
Everybody still calls that nigga a murderer.
Correct.
So it's like,
Nigga had a whole book talking about some if I did it.
bro, that is wild.
That's
though.
bold.
When I saw that, I was just like, you can after that, you just like, I could do anything.
Bro, you a bold man.
I could do anything. I can say and do whatever I want, and people are gonna buy it and eat it up, and I'll make money and stay popular. So, because if I did it, it's just too crazy and too salacious of a title for a book of a person who we assume is a murderer.
Correct.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Like, rest in peace and everything, man. But like, bruh, that was kind of difficult.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Rest in peace and all that. But wild boy.
Absolutely.
He was a wild boy. Well, so I guess getting back on track, what is your favorite vinyl? Like of all the ones you own?
Man, that's hard because I can't really say which one is my favorite. I have a lot of them, and a lot of them give me a certain type of feeling. Like, it's funny because people ask me all the time, like, what's my favorite song? What's your favorite? It's just like, bro, I really don't have one. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I used to have like songs growing up. Like, that were like my favorite. But then it was just like as I got older, it was like I'm hearing more and more music. It's like, man, I'm totally conflicted. So like, yeah, I'm conflicted, bro. Like it's so many that is there that I'm just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm conflicted on that one.
Okay, do you have a top 5
Okay,
of your favorite vinyls then?
top 5. Okay. I think I could do that. And these are just the ones that's coming to my mind. Like they might not even really be there, but like I can think about them being like, okay, that's one. Okay, so When I Get Home by Solange.
Oh yeah.
She snapped with that. I think that album is better than The Seat at the Table. And it's funny because a lot of people that I know, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, that's no. I'm like, bruh, yes, it is. You know what I'm saying? Bruh. Metro Boomin, Pharrell Williams, Steve Lacy, Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler Creator, all producing.
Right.
Come on, man.
Ridiculous.
What are we even talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? And that vinyl it's a clear vinyl too. Like it's no color. So it's just like you can see through it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cop that one.
Bruh.
I know because The Seat at the Table is one of the ones I'm thinking about getting next. And When I Get Home, because I like both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been looking at getting both of them. I didn't know it was clear though.
Yeah.
That's dope as hell. But I would agree with you. That album is fucking bananas. Like every time I put it on, I'd be like, man, this shit was the production of both of them are so good. Like not every time I listen, I'd be like, who produced, like how did they think of this?
Correct.
It's so fucking good. I wish like there's not too many songs or beats that I hear that I'd be like, I wish I made that one.
Yeah.
I wish I wrote that one. You know, but almost all the songs on her albums, I'd be like, man, I wish I wrote that.
Yeah.
I wish I produced that beat. Like that beat so damn good.
Yes.
You know, but okay, so When I Get Home, that's one of them.
Yeah, that's one. I'm trying to think because okay. So I did a vinyl show on this one too, Finding Forever by Common.
Okay,
I'm gonna put that in there because the sequencing for side B is what like kind of like made me like be like, okay, yeah, gotta put that here because side B starts off with I Want You.
Oh, for real?
And I feel like how you were saying earlier about like putting on a vinyl, you hearing the scratching and then the music starts, like that album, that side B is that for me, like coming home, crackle,
yeah.
That shit is crazy. That is another feeling. That's a crazy feeling right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like that. Trying to think, what's some other ones I got that's like my like favorite. This one came from my grandfather's collection. Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions.
Ooh.
That shit hard, bro. Stevie Wonder is really the nigga, bro.
That
like
album is so fucking good, dog.
Like
I love that album.
you know when we have our people that's our favorite, right? And you know how they always name like the same like people, and you know how sometimes it just be like, okay, they just naming them niggas, like that's some cliche shit. But it's like sometimes it's like, nah, when you really like take a real gander and real ponder into like what they are saying and talking about, then you be like, actually, yeah. Like that's the album that made me like, oh yeah, Stevie Wonder ain't nothing to fuck with for real. He's really that guy.
He is really that dude.
He's the guy. Like he's the guy. Like Too High is on there.
Yeah, bro.
Too high, and then come down. I've been in a dream. Bruh, he was going crazy.
Wow, that album is crazy. Wait, is whatchamacallit
Living
on
for the
there?
City's on there too.
Yes.
Living for the City's on there.
Living just enough.
Yep.
Just enough for the city. Yeah, like, come on. Stevie Wonder is one of my influences.
That's real.
With vocally and musically, but especially vocally. I found out, like, when I was a teenager singing, some of his songs are in this weird range in between my head voice and my chest voice. So like right before I hit my falsetto, and right after my normal voice. So that for any singer would know, is like kind of difficult because you're trying to figure out when do I hit my falsetto voice and when do I go back underneath to like my normal voice, and you're trying to like stretch in between that. And though it would be like vocal exercises for me to sing songs like All I Do, because he's in that like register of my vocal ability, and it helped me learn how to sing better, singing his type of songs. And just vocally, he's so dope to me. And I just really liked his voice. So even if I'm not singing, I'm just listening and be like, man, this guy's so fucking good.
Yeah.
You know, but yes, Intervision's a very good album. Very good choice.
That's fire. I'm glad that he was able to do that for you, bro. For real.
Yeah.
Like, real talk. Okay, so that's 3, right? Okay, so I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to think. It's so many vinyls I got, bro. Well, okay, I'm gonna throw Like Mike in there. You know what I'm saying? Because Like Mike is one of my favorite albums. So Def recordings. Yeah, Lil Bow Wow on there.
Okay.
The basketball track.
That's just the soundtrack for the whole movie.
Yeah.
The Like Mike movie.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah.
So it was dope. We had Basketball, which was like the number 1 song. Take You Home was on there. It was also on his album Doggy Bag. There's a song by Mario on there called Put Me On.
Yeah.
That song is actually also on Mario's first album too, the self-titled album with Just a Friend on there.
Yeah. You know, I gotta go back and listen to that album. I don't think I've ever heard the whole album.
Mario?
Yeah.
Bruh, Alicia Keys did a lot of writing on that album. She wrote 2 Train, and she wrote a bunch of other different songs on there too. Like, and she sang a little bit of vocals, like you can kind of hear it in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Alicia Keys, you know what I'm saying? She's damn near perfect on the low. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a perfect woman. Nas, there's a song on there by Nas and A. Marie called Rule. It samples the song Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He sampled that. That was the first time I've ever heard any like, that's the first time I heard like that like song. I didn't know it was a sample until like later on. You know what I'm saying? But like that song is hard. Like that song's on I think it's on Stillmatic, but they also put that song in Honey, that dance movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that was one of the songs I like coming back to. Solange is on there too. She got a song with B2K. And a bunch of other niggas that was in So Def. I was about to say Rockefeller. Fucking So Def. You know what I'm saying? ROC's on there. The NBA 2K2 intro song is on that album.
Word?
Yeah.
2K2?
Bruh, 2K2.
I don't even think we was playing 2K at that.
Oh, we was playing
year.
NBA Live, bro. NBA Live was the jam, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
NBA Live stopped being cool after, in my opinion, 2008. And that was the last one that we had. That was Gilbert Arenas.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first 2K that I bought, like not played, but the first 2K.
2K9?
Bought 2K9.
Yep. KG
with
on the front.
Celtics, exactly. So that was the first time. So the year before that with NBA Live 2008, the 08 one, I do think that was the last NBA Live I owned. Well, no, I think we bought like 2010. But no, like niggas started playing 2K heavy after 2K9. At least from my recollection.
Nah, you
before that, it was before 2K9, it was all NBA Live. Yeah. After 2K9, 2K became the game.
Correct.
The basketball game to get.
Correct.
So yeah, damn, memories, dog.
Bruh. We can go down it all day, bro. Like we really had we be seeing the shift in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm really proud of our generation. You know what I'm saying? Like especially just 94 babies, you know what I'm saying? Like we really in the cusp, in the midst of everything. Like we see the beginning and the end of everything. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny because like, you know, they say in the Bible too, you know what I'm saying? The first should be last, the last should be first. I really feel like we're the walking, talking like example of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to think. I think, yeah, I'm trying to think what other vinyls was
You
like.
got one more.
Okay, one more. I don't want to be too outrageous. Bro, there's so many. There's so many. I even one day I was even going through them and it was so wild. I'd be like, it's so crazy that I don't even remember getting certain ones and then I have them and it's just like, what? Like, I forgot that I had Childish Gambino's Awaken My Love.
Yeah.
Forgot I had that. I forgot I had Maroon 5's album, the one with This Love and Sunday Morning. I forgot I had that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just random.
I love those songs.
Bro, it's random shit. I just be having. It's like, damn.
Sunday morning rain is falling.
Bro, that's the best Maroon 5 song of all time. And it's funny. I first heard that song watching Cheaper by the Dozen Part 2 because it was at the end when they was dancing. And I was like, this sound hard. And then I saw the music video and I'm just like, oh, this is actually a real song. Like, this is actually it. And I'm like, bruh, this is the jam. Like, I love that. Okay. I'll put it down. I'll say it. Low key, I'm gonna give it to Ego Def.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to them because because that was the first internet album I bought vinyl. I bought all the CDs except for Purple Naked Ladies. I didn't buy that one, but when Feel Good came out, I bought the CD. Actually, it's crazy. Funny story with that too. So Mood's Music, shout out to Mood. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mood's Music. You know what I'm saying? Little 5 points. That's actually one of the hot spots that like Tyler comes to and visits when he comes to Atlanta. And when Feel Good came out, I went out to the store thinking that they had the CD, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't. But he had the promotional copy of the CD and he let me buy it. So I had the promotional copy that they gave to him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, it's dope. You know what I'm saying? Some real shit. And I think I still have it too. You know what I'm saying? Some real vintage shit. Like, that album. I bought that CD. I bought the Ego Def when it came out, and I bought Hive Mind when it came out too. But then I ended up getting the Ego Def vinyl, and I played that shit out just like how I played it when I first got it. Because when the album came out, I was in a crazy place. You know what I'm saying? That was my first summer staying here in Atlanta. Because usually after school I would go home for the summer and come back. So this was the summer going into I call it my senior year, but it was really the second semester of my junior year. But all the people who I came in with, they was first semester seniors.
Okay.
So I kind of just be like, it was like my senior year. And you know what I'm saying? That's my first summer like staying in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I had working me a job down at the hotel Midtown. And you know what I'm saying? Had my heart fucking crushed by this young lady I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we literally broke up right in the beginning of the summer. You know what I'm saying? Like, wild shit. Like, it was really crazy, you know what I'm saying? And, if she does hear this or see this, you know what I'm saying? It's always love, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, you know what I'm saying? We could talk about it, you know what I'm saying? It was some crazy stuff that was going on that I, like, found out about, and I kind of was just like, I'm young, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're young, you don't really know how to call something out without it like blowing up the whole spot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just like blow up the spot without even thinking that it is. You know what I'm saying? And I blew up the spot. You know what I'm saying? I can admit that. You know what I'm saying? She told me off. She was talking shit. But like, she was telling the truth though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the album, Ego Def came out and it was just like low key, like there was some real soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, yeah. She could have been right. I was right too. Am I right? But like, this is some good shit right here. You know what I'm saying? This some good shit. Yeah.
And then if you just got to reflect on that through the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. That's why I love the power of music. is mad amazing. And to be able to participate in it.
Yeah.
To admit that feeling to other people, is a crazy thing. Hard to explain, but we all feel it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, what was I about to ask you? Oh yeah, so we were talking about how you were DJing on Jack Thriller's podcast.
Yeah,
Um so and there through like the whole 85 South
imprint.
imprint. Yeah, there you go. Help
Yeah.
me out here. So how was that experience like for you?
I think it was a great experience for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I got to that was like I guess you can say technically that was like my first industry gig.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it was cool. Like the first season cause I met him, he it's funny because Jack Thriller came to I work with all my friends. Shout out to the band. Shout out to all my friends
Hey,
global.
shout
You know what I'm
out to all
saying?
my friends.
All my friends ATL, you know what I'm saying? We out here.
Yeah.
We were having our show at the JR Crickets on MLK, which is
Yeah.
right there around the corner from Clark. Things like that. It's funny because that night specifically, I actually had another gig somewhere else. I was down the street, Atlanta Tucky Brewery. Shout out to all the folks at Atlanta Tucky.
Yep.
And he was getting his hair cut at a spot. You know, MLK got like 10,
Yeah.
20 different like barbershops. You know what I'm saying? I get my hair cut at Bobby's. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mr. Bobby, everybody. You know what I'm saying? He was there getting his hair cut, but his barber didn't show up. So he was like, bro, I'm in MLK. It's dark. What's going on? So he was just like, man, I'm stressed out. Let me go next door to get a drink. So he comes into JR Crickets. And he comes upstairs. That's where the bar is at, and that's where we had our show. It was upstairs.
Right.
So he's in there. I was done with my event, so I was like, I'm gonna pull up on my folks. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. Like I'm gonna show up on my people. So I came through. He was there. It's funny because when I was walking up, my homie Wise, when I was telling you about that, showed me the turntables. He was spinning. He was filling in for me. And he was just like, yo, Jack Thriller's here. And I was like, oh, damn. What's up? You know what I'm saying? So I walk in, you know what I'm saying? I make my way by the bar. I say what's up to him. And he was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, what's good, bro? You know what I'm saying? And it was funny, bro, because literally 2 weeks before, he was on his podcast that I listen to every week, Brilliant Idiots.
Yeah.
Charlemagne and
I
Andrew Schultz.
listen to them all the time.
Yeah.
Too. It's a funny ass podcast.
Bro, it's so
But
they're nuts. They are nuts. They're nuts. But he was on there. And during that time, on that show specifically, it was Jack, Nyla Simone, Wax, and Charlemagne. Andrew Schultz wasn't. I think he wasn't there that day. But I was listening to it. I was like, hey, this nigga Jack is funny as hell. Like he had me rolling every time he said something. I was laughing. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny, and because he was there. So I had told him, I was like, hey, bro, I was like, I have never heard of you until the Really Idiots podcast. I listened to him every week, and you was on there, and that you had me rolling. And he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, what you do? I was like, I DJ. So we started talking, and he was like, where you from? I was like, I'm from California, but I went to school around the corner. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, I'm originally from Georgia, but I am back here. I was in New York, because he did This Is 50. He was like the Fab Five Freddy of the blog era.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing interviews with everybody, Future, Kevin Hart, like anybody. And but he's mainly a comedian.
Right.
So he has his roots in the comedy area, you know what I'm saying? But he was doing all that other stuff. So he was just like, yeah, I'm back here in Atlanta now, you know what I'm saying? Doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. I got my show. And, hey, you sound like you are about something. So, you should come and audition for my show. Think about it as an audition. I was like, yeah. He was like, just play all Atlanta music, all old Atlanta music. You know what I'm saying? And he started naming off a couple people. And he was like, can you do it? And I was like, yeah. He was like, for sure. Can you do tomorrow? I was like, yeah. He was just like, all right, if you need some time, it's cool. And I was just like, nah, nigga, I can show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing for me to spend some music. You know what I'm saying? Just give me the fucking prompt. I can download the songs and we good. You know what I'm saying? He was like, cool. So that night, downloaded some music from some older Atlanta folks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, like Pastor Troy, Field Mob, you know what I'm saying? Kilo Ali, like Life Jennings, like just a bunch of like random deep cuts of like Atlanta folks, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I went in there, I was spinning, and it was, bruh, that day was tight. Like I'm not gonna cap because, I went in there, I was spinning. He's getting excited. Like, he's screaming, yelling and shit. Like, he's getting hyped. He has his other guests in there. Bruh, he goes on his Instagram live and is like showing me off and stuff like that, bruh. Guess who FaceTimes him?
Who?
Bruh, Kid Capri.
For real?
Nigga. Kid Capri, the legend. The legend.
Damn.
The legend.
Yeah.
The legend. Like, he FaceTimes
crazy.
him. Bruh, and you know what's crazy too? Because while he called, he was just like, oh, damn, Kid Capri's called me. And he didn't even make it like a big deal. He was just like, oh, damn, Kid Capri's called me. And when I heard him say that, I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, nigga.
Right.
He just said, what? Bruh.
That's Kid Capri.
It's Kid Capri. So he calls and he answers. He's like, what's up? Blah, blah. And he was just like, you know, they was talking whatever. And then he flips the camera on me. So now I'm face to face with Kid Capri. And Kid Capri is just like, salute. And I'm just like, I stopped and was just like, gave that nigga a real bow. Cause it was like, you know, it's niggas like him that really like solidify what DJing is and what it can turn into and what it could be. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know I was talking all that shit earlier about like DJ hosting and stuff, but like his hosting never compromised his skills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like, yeah, he's one of them guys. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's over with. I'm about to pack up and leave, bro, because he left the room for a long-ass time. I didn't know where he was at. I'm playing music for another 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm about to pack up. He walks back in with Pimpin' Ken and Timo Goody from Goody Mob. He finna do a interview. And he was like, you're not packing up, are you? I was like, nigga, nah. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting back up. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the shot while they're doing the video and stuff. And then, you know, we talking afterwards. He was like, bruh, I haven't talked to Kid Capri in 15 years. And he called me because he saw you DJing on the live. He was like, bro, you got a real talent, bro. He was like, you know, you should, you know, I want you to come and rock with me. You know what I'm saying? If you're down with that, it's cool. You know, we gonna rock. It's cool. And I was like, for sure. So it's crazy because that day was the last day that he was recording in that studio because I guess the people that own the studio and him got into it because he was cool with somebody that they weren't cool with, and they was kind of flipping it to him like, hey, we not cool with them. But right. If you cool with them, then we not cool. And he was just like, well, I'm not that type of guy. If y'all don't want to be cool with me, then I'll part my ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Little did them niggas know that he was working on a situation with 85 South because he's actually the person that introduced Nick Cannon to Carlos Miller. You know what I'm saying? Like he was one of them folks that are in the inner backgrounds that like help get to the shit that we see in the world. You know what I'm saying? So he was setting that up. And during that time, it probably been like, you know, like a year and a half, low key. You know what I'm saying? But in that time, I understood because I've been out here in Atlanta a long time. Of course, there's always that time where you meet somebody, they can change your life and stuff like that. And then you just never hear from niggas again and shit like that. Like I understood the concept where it was like, okay, if they're not hitting you up or nothing, you got to hit them up.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? So I stayed down with it. I was just, you know, random. Every couple of months, I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Just showing love, you know what I'm saying? If I had a random question about like Atlanta or something, I would ask him, he would answer, and we kept it cool. And then one day out the blue, he was just like, hey, bro, it's time to go. You ready? I was like, for sure. So we started the first season of New Jack Thriller City. It's on 85 South imprint. It's on YouTube. It's still going strong right now. The first season was dope. We had Carlos on there. The Poor Minds was on there. Of course, Nav was on there. Clayton, you know what I'm saying? Got cool with Clayton. Cisco, Drew Hill. You know, Drew Hill and Playa combined. So now they're just Drew Hill, the big group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, Shop Boys came through. Trillville came through. The Molly World casting folks came through. It was really dope. Like, I was meeting all these people. Major Hype was coming through. Jason Weaver, you know what I'm saying? Jay Weave, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these people that I grew up watching on TV or grew up hearing on the radio and stuff, like, they're legends, like legends. And they're right here next to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing the music and they like what I'm playing. Bro, Music Soul Child went on a whole rant in front of everybody because of a song that I played. a song that he was on that I played. I think I played Christmas in Harlem, and it was another song. And he was like, bruh, you see what I'm saying? He went off. He was like, bruh, you see what I'm saying, bruh? I got hella songs, but I'm always getting booked to play the same 6 songs. He went on a full rant, bruh. He was going off. He was going off, bruh.
You know, one time, so I used to work for this backline company, and I would work in the warehouse, and they had a rehearsal studio. And I was playing like some lo-fi beats in the warehouse while I was, working. And Music Soul Child was rehearsing in the studio next to where I was working at.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like he walks out the studio, and I'm like walking into the warehouse area. And I was like, hey, what's up, man? And I was just like walking in.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, what's that song you're playing? I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm just playing lo-fi beats as I'm working or whatever. This had to have been like 2015, 2016. Like, this was a while ago.
Right.
And he was like, can you go back? Can you try to find that again? And I was like, yeah. So I'm like flipping through trying to see which one it was. He was like, man, it just reminds me of a beat that Jay Dilla sent me years ago. And I don't know if he said he wrote to it or if what it became of, but he was just like, yeah, it just reminds me of something Jay Dilla sent me. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And we chopped it up for a couple of minutes about Jay Dilla and his beats and like his relationship with Jay Dilla and stuff. And I was like, well, lo-fi is like a fucking birth of Jay Dilla, you know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of music, even some jazz and some like other modern styles of music, because of his like timing and stuff, like people emulate it in their music.
Right.
You know, like what's his name talks about it a lot. Questlove.
Yeah.
You know, because he got some of his drumming style from Jay Dilla and stuff. And we was just talking about stuff like that. And I was like, all right, gotta get back to work. And then he went back to the rehearsal studio or whatever. Yeah. So like I can see him ranting about it. Something you played, because something I played in the warehouse, he just made him rant about Jay Dilla's music for like 10 minutes.
And you could tell you could tell he's excited about it. Like, and that's one of them brothers that's like, yeah, we can rock because it's in his name. You know what I'm saying? Music Soul Child. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like literally like 3 words that can like, can really like explain the swag. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really cool. It was a great experience, you know what I'm saying? Through that, I had got to DJ Carlos Miller's 40th birthday party last year, which was like a great experience to do because, they got the new 85 South studio down in Jonesboro. And it was a real old school like cookout vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I finally met Chico Bean for the first time and got to chop it up with him, you know what I'm saying? Because he's one of my like favorite newer comedians. Like, he's hilarious, you know what I'm saying? Every time he says something that's funny, you know what I'm saying? Got to talk to him. Got to talk to B. Simone.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of B. Simone, so it was really cool to do that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? The vibes are still cool. I'm not there anymore though. You know what I'm saying? I took a little break. You know what I'm saying? But the vibes are still there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's no craziness with it. It's just a difference of opinion as far as trajectory. You know what I'm saying? I know my trajectory and I know what I want to do and what I'm trying to do. And I think that it was time for me to, step out. You know what I'm saying? Because, I guess I'll just be transparent too. You know what I'm saying? It was, got to a point where I was being asked to do things that I wasn't necessarily there to do in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course, like people's things change and move, but it was starting to not necessarily be conducive to what I had going on. And I wish it was, because, it was still great. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a great thing, but it was just, my first industry gig. And it's not the last, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's just like, it's really crazy, bro. Like industries and stuff like that, it's just like corporate America. Like, you know what I'm saying? like working a corporate job is like, you know, you're doing good, but then, you know, you got to do something else. And that something else wasn't necessarily what was supposed to do. And then you not doing that, then it's automatically like, oh, they're not a good worker and all this other stuff. Not saying that they were saying that, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
idea where the goalpost is continuously moving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Because everybody has different ideas for what they want and for their business, and it always changes. You know, it might be one thing 1 minute, and then the next minute they need something else. You know, but that's his life. Like you said, it's no hard feelings. It's no like bullshit with it. It's just y'all had the two different things you wanted to do,
yeah.
and that he wanted for you, and that you wanted for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's dope. I think the first time I seen Jack Thriller was on the 85 South podcast.
Yeah.
And I seen him on the probably the same Brilliant Idiots episode you saw him on. And I thought the same thing, like, damn, this nigga is fucking hilarious. Like everything he says is ridiculous and it makes me laugh. But, you know, when I saw you were DJing for him, I was like, oh, that's dope as hell, you know, because he had just got into my sphere at the time. So I was like, oh, that's dope. You know, someone I know is, you know, rocking with him. And not too long after that, I started doing, well, I've done podcasts here and there, but like I decided like to do my own around that time too. So I was just watching what everyone was doing podcast wise anyways. So, and now you're here on my podcast.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? We get to chop it up. I'll tell you almost every episode I talk about how like I have a lot of dope friends out here in Atlanta doing cool shit, which is why I wanted to even do this in the first place, you know, and we get to showcase things y'all do or talk about, get people to know you better and have the conversations that we be having all the time when we out doing gigs or just with each other on the, you know, a public forum
Absolutely.
of the podcast. So, you know, it was just a matter of time till we did ours, you know what I'm saying? And now you get to have your, you know, now you're not just DJing, but you get to just talk about all of your passions with DJing and, you know, your experiences with being a DJ and becoming a DJ and your goals and all of that. You know, I just think all that stuff is very interesting.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to do these.
And I'm happy that I'm able to have the opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for inviting me on. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I think I always want to, you know, I always wanted to like, you know, talk about stuff, right? Because a lot of the stuff that we do, we don't necessarily have the necessary ways to explain it. Like, it's not like I could just like stop mid scratch during the part and be like, hey, yo, I like this song because of blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bruh, what's going on? Like, get back to it. You get what I'm saying? So I love the idea where we can explain to the T what it is that's happening. You get what I'm saying? Because when you explain it, it gives more context. You understand it more. You get what I'm saying? And even like what I'm understanding now, like even just seeing like younger kids be on YouTube, bro. They be on YouTube. They like just watching videos of people doing stuff. Like they be watching people playing video games, and it's just like watching someone else play a video game.
The process.
And them talking about it, like you know what I'm saying? Like that's where it's at right now. So it's like that's perfect because why not else? Like a lot of my favorite podcasts come from like the people who are like the people that I grew up watching and like hearing them talk about the experience and stuff like that because it's so cool to hear that. Like I don't know, did you watch The Wire?
Yeah, I haven't watched it in total, but I've watched it. Yeah.
Okay. So in season 4, they had gave more insight to the kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? The younger kids that end up turning into the corner boys that end up turning into like niggas like Marlo and Avon and them. So the group of kids that was on there was his name is Maestro. He's the one I was about to talk about. He has a podcast called Surrounded by Idiots. That's kind of funny. Him, Julito McCullum. He was on Miracles Boys. He played Naaman. Tristan Wilds, Mac Wilds.
Yeah.
He was on there too. And the other kid, I forget his name right now, but he went by Dookie. And Maestro, he has a podcast. And the guy that played Dookie and Julito, they came on there and they was talking and they was just talking about like all the shit. Like going through it. Like Maestro has a whole scrapbook of pictures from when they were on set and stuff like that. And them just hearing them tell stories about when they was on set and everything. Like there was the young niggas at the time. So when Billionaire Boys Club and all that other shit was like new, they was the ones rocking it fresh and they was talking about all that. And it was just like, it's cool to hear that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's really like it's great to hear that because people be here, bro. People be the flies on the walls. Like people really be intricate pieces of the culture. You get what I'm saying? And hearing their experience about it, it gives you a fuller range of what it is. It all comes full circle. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So even like hearing you like talk, you know what I'm saying? Like hearing how like Stevie Wonder helped you like with the arrangement and stuff like that, and like hearing how you are explaining the music and just the arrangement of it all. You get what I'm saying? It gives us all, you know what I'm saying, an idea that's like, okay, that's how we can get it. Because we can reference what you just said in another conversation, in a whole other situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's hard.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm doing this. And then people get to see the inner workings of our our minds, our talents, how we get to where we are. And it connects us, just like how now you have a deeper connection with the people of The Wire. Now it's like, well, now people can have that same thing with you.
Word.
And your vinyls and your like connection with your parents' vinyls and the vinyls you come across, your history of like even going to Clark or stuff like that. And people like, oh shit, like I went to Clark, and now they probably know your experiences and how you even, navigated college and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the reason why I like doing this. It's like I said, we have these conversations every day on our own, but it's cool to have them to show other people because if it benefits us, then it could benefit other people as well.
Correct.
So with that being said, we are going to end that here. It's 2 hours and 21 minutes. These things always fly.
Yeah, we was going in, man. We was going in.
Yeah, I always will be like, yeah, that was probably like an hour and some change. And I look down and be like, damn, 2 hours. Got some good editing ahead of me. But yeah, so let the good people know where they could follow you, what else you got going on, stuff like that. Plug in all your shit.
Smooth. So yeah, Wizard Craig. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the coast one time. You know what I'm saying? You can follow me on all social media at Wizard Craig. That's WIZARDCRAIG. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Serious Marsh. You know what I'm saying? Serious Marsh TV. We got all those different things going on. I spin all genres of music. You know what I'm saying? You can book me through the link in my bio on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? My link tree. It's all there. You know what I'm saying? We do all genres of music. What's coming up? We got a couple parties coming up. You know what I'm saying? We got a real big pool party coming up in July, first week of July. You know what I'm saying? So hit me for that information. And yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? We do this. So, hit me.
We do this for reals, guys. So yeah, I know this just starting this podcast, so all 5 of you motherfuckers that's watching, I appreciate it. Spread the word, like, comment, subscribe. Let these people know.
Subscribe.
You know what I'm saying? I got a Patreon, so there's gonna be stuff. I just did a trip to North Carolina where I played bass for this person's wedding in the mountains, and it was beautiful and it's nice, and I vlogged it. I'm still editing it, but when I am done editing it, it's going there on the Patreon. Y'all know gonna be the only ones to see it if you get the if you're on Patreon. Some clips that like I've filmed my recording setup and stuff like that. That's only gonna be on the Patreon. I have my music stuff on the Patreon. All that stuff's gonna get there first. And you can join for as little as $1. So like I'm not hitting y'all over the head. You know what I'm saying? Go on ahead, join that Patreon, and help a brother out. I'm doing all of this by myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm editing, I'm recording my music, playing bass for people. I'm doing all this shit by myself. And I got a family to support, so help me buy my kids some new shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Support is key for sure.
Yeah. All the things, all the YouTube things, y'all know what to do. Y'all been on YouTube long enough. So yeah, peace out, man.